High above in the Mesozoic sky soars a unique lineage of reptiles. Before birds were the biggest flyers, pterosaurs took to the skies, ranging in size from tiny frog-sized flyers to enormous beasts as big as a small plane. Today on Tate Minis, we'll be taking a look at some Wyoming pterosaur fossils to get an inside look at how these winged reptiles would soar. In this episode of Tate Minis, allow us to introduce you to the Lance Formation pterosaur. This fossil does not have a genus or species name because we don't have an exact answer to what animal it belonged to. We do, however, know what kind of animal it likely would be. Let's take a closer look at it for some more information. This little bone was found in an assorted bone bed within the Lance Formation near Lusk, Wyoming, around 67 million years ago. This time period, combined with the T-shaped cross-section, pointed to the fact that this bone is the distal-most finger bone that makes up the wing of a pterosaur, specifically an Esdarkid pterosaur. Esdarkids were a group of pterosaurs from the late Cretaceous period, known for having very long necks, sharp toothless beaks, and very odd body proportions. Esdarkids could range pretty heavily in height, with some being as tall as an adult human, like Gigantopterus, and others being as tall as a giraffe, like Quetzalcoatlus northropi. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of Tate's Lancian pterosaur. There's a pair of distal wingtips. One is this long, straight one that is on display in the museum, which is about 7 inches or 18 centimeters long. The other, less commonly seen, is a second wingtip from the other side of likely the same individual. This bone is slightly more curved, likely due to geological activity. It is about 5 inches in length, or 13 centimeters long. There may have been more fossils of this pterosaur from the same bone bed, but they have not been identified. So how does this tiny little bone that looks like a twig you'd find in your backyard allow a group of animals to get as big as small planes and still be able to fly? To explain the anatomy of pterosaur wings, here's Russell Hawley.
The pterosaur wing is basically a modified arm. The shoulder is up here, and then this is the elbow, that's the forearm, and this is the wrist. The bones of the hand are elongated, and the bones of the ring finger, or wing finger, are very elongated indeed, and that would have been the leading edge of the wing. In life, there would have been a membrane of skin running to the side of the animal's body. Well, this is very effective for flying, but it's a little ungainly when the animal is on the ground. So when it was trying to walk, the pterosaur could take that fourth finger and then just fold it up and back like a ski pole.
For a somewhat more complete look at pterosaur wings, let's take a look at another pterosaur here at the Tate Geological Museum. Hanging just above the pterosaur display that houses the Lance pterosaur are casts of Tweety the pteranodon. Tweety was a juvenile pteranodon that was about a quarter of the size of a fully grown adult male pteranodon, but also twice as large as the estimated size of a newly hatched baby pteranodon. This means that Tweety was probably in their tweenage years. Adult pteranodons are dimorphic in their size, with a much rarer large morph and a much more common small morph that was nearly 10 times as abundant as the large one. Scientists hypothesize that these are male and female pteranodons respectively, as the large morphs tend to have that large flashy crest and beak that pteranodon is well known for having, and the smaller ones have a shorter stub of a crest. The female pteranodons have wingspans reaching about 4 meters, or about 13 feet long, and the males, on the other hand, have a wingspan of around 6 to 7 meters, or 19 to 22 feet.
Now, just in case you don't know what 7 meters looks like, it looks a little bit like this. So if there's a pteranodon here in the room with us, I'd be holding the tip of one wing over here, and the tip of the other wing would be way over there.
The Lance Formation pterosaur fossil may look rather scrappy and incomplete, but fortunately, due to the countless pterosaur fossils found from all over the world, we can reasonably get a good idea as to what this fossil is. We may never truly know what this animal looked like when it was alive, but we can at least figure out what part of the animal and what kind of animal this little fossil belongs to. We hope you've enjoyed this mini look at some Wyoming pterosaurs. For more information about our fossils and casts, be sure to scan the next code on your Tate Minis guide sheet to lead you to our next video. See you next time on Tate Minis.